This is the best Yuno theory ever. In Black Clover, Lucius Zogratis and Adramelech have already revealed Yuno's new power. They have mentioned everything we need to know to understand 100% what happened to Yuno during the time skip. We just need to understand why Yuno hides his arm and what the meaning of the singularity is, and why his two grimoires were mentioned in this context as well as the wind spirit self. Lucius did not mention star magic and wind magic specifically. If you look at how Yuno defeated all the high-ranking devils, you can see that he opened both of his grimoires, which only happens when a spell is activated. In his case, wind and star magic. However, we see neither wind nor star magic, nor is he in his spirit dive. And yet he uses a spell that Adramelech described as an instant win for Yuno. So only one attack, maybe even only one spell, but with two grimoires. This magic looks similar to the sun, which is a star, when viewed during a total solar eclipse. Because only when the light of the sun does not obstruct our vision, we can see these very special lines. These lines are called SolarWind, stellar wind, or star wind. It is a very strong and special wind that every single star emits. This wind is much faster, hotter, and more dangerous than normal wind on Earth, and also has very special destructive attributes that could explain why a mere breeze of wind from Yuno with only one arm could completely destroy a whole group of high-ranking devils like Zogratis. So with star wind we have literally two aspects, star plus wind. Also with the meaning of singularity, which I will explain in this video, there is only one explanation for this. Yuno could have created a new magic ability by combining star and wind magic and thus breaking the physical laws of the world. He created something that should not be possible because normally the wind magic Sylph can only be combined with the wind mage. Whoever created Sylph never considered the possibility of her magic being combined with something that is not wind magic. Therefore, the effect is literally unpredictable, a power that can go beyond the will of the gods. Yuno's special existence has done the impossible. The last time we saw Yuno was right after Asta was teleported to the land of the sun. He entered the captain's meeting like the king of the land and announced that he would first defeat Lucius Zogratis and then immediately become the Wizard King. He's not the same as he was almost 2 years ago when he said he wanted to participate in the Spade Kingdom War, with the captains all just wondering if he was even fit for that battle. Back then he had to ask if he could go, and now it's not even up for debate. He simply decided it. Yuno is stronger than any other captain. I think it's safe to say that right now, with Asta out of the kingdom and Lucius revealed as a traitor, Yuno is officially the strongest magic knight in the Clover Kingdom. And everyone knows it, even Adramelech and Lucius Zogratis. Adramelech was quite shocked at Yuno's strength and growth. He said he never thought a human could rise so high within a year and a few months. He defeated all the high-ranking devils with just one attack, not even using his right arm, so the arm he hid with bandages. Thus, it could be assumed that this is most likely not even remotely his true power. Not to mention that he wasn't even in a spirit dive or sane state respectively, and yet he was already strong enough to easily fight against high-ranking devils. Just to clarify what a high-ranking devil actually is. We did not see any of these devils in the Spade Kingdom War. The strongest kind of normal devils we encountered, that is, apart from supreme devils, were mid-ranking devils. However, a high-ranking devil is in a completely different level. There's probably a wide range of powers when it comes to this category of devils. So weaker and stronger high-ranking devils, this level goes up to almost supreme level. That should definitely be taken into account here. Nevertheless, devils like Zogratis and even Megicula, before she became a supreme devil, are both high-ranking devils. They have the same rank as those who were defeated by Yuno in a single blow, forcing the devils to retreat immediately. Megicula is probably a bad example since she was at the top of all the high-ranking devils, which is why she became a supreme devil after Asta disappeared. But when it comes to Zogratis, I don't think it's a stretch to say that Yuno could take him out in one shot. A lot of people in the Black Clover community give Zogratis way too much credit. Of course he's strong. Lucifero knew him him by name, so he must have been a big shot. And of course, he would still be a lot of trouble if Yuno and Asta weren't around, but Asta and Yuno are just on a whole different level. Think about it, after Zagor, there was a 6-month time skip in which everyone in the Clover Kingdom realized the danger of devils and tried to become much stronger, with the goal of becoming as strong as Zagor to be able to defeat such a devil in the future without depending on the help of the elves and the first Wizard King Lumiere Silvermillion. And then Yuno also learned many new techniques in the Spade Kingdom War, especially Saint's Stage. This is like holy water against demons. And then there was even a longer time skip, more than a year. You get an idea of the level this man must be at now to be able to defeat all these devils after just one hit. But let's face it was just a decoy anyway, so that Yuno wouldn't be in the capital when Lucius attacked. I hope everyone understands the hidden message here that Tabata gave. That little chicken Zogratis Novacrona didn't want Yuno to attend Asta's ceremony, because he knew Yuno could become a problem and maybe even stop Lucius before he reaches full power in 7th day, the Day of Judgment. It's just like Asta said, if Yuno had been there, he might have even defeated Lucius Zogratis, and Asta should know how strong Yuno is. We know that Yuno himself, however, believes that Asta is ahead of him, but it is a fact that Lucius nevertheless decided to distract Yuno. The Clover Kingdom knew that several devils suddenly became active on the border of the country, so they sent Yuno to take care of the matter. Meanwhile, Lucius took the opportunity to attack Asta. Lucius, who can see the future timelines, knew that Yuno would be sent if he triggered devil activity. The proof that Lucius did this intentionally to lure Yuno out is the way Yuno described his encounter with Adramelech. He said that he simply observed everything and that the devils did not even have a clear goal. It was a clear feint. Adramelech did nothing but dodge, and Lucius must have put them up to it. When the scene switched to Adramelech reporting to Lucius in shock, he immediately talked about Yuno, simply because he was the reason this whole feint happened in the first place. Whereupon Lucius immediately revealed that Yuno is the only one in all the timelines that he can see who can defeat him, followed by the exact reason why. He mentions the singularity with 2 grimoires, one from the Spade Kingdom and the other with a 4-leaf clover. He also points out that Yuno is the child of the elf leader Licht and Sylph's chosen one, and that he is also the rightful heir to the throne of Spade Kingdom. Although Lucius gave the reason, he did not explain exactly what he meant. Important is the concept of singularity, which I will explain in a moment. And as far as the meaning of singularity is concerned, the following aspects can be deduced from Lucius' explanation. 2 grimoires, elven mana, human mana, wind magic together with the wind spirit Sylph, and the star magic from the Grin Burial family. And now to the meaning of singularity. The definition of the word itself could refer to the singular state of a thing. In terms of the 2 grimoires, it will mean that Yuno uses 2 grimoires or 2 magical abilities in a singular way to create one magic ability. So basically he combines 2 magic abilities to create a new one. But this is not the only definition of singularity. It can also describe unusual behavior, extraordinary things, or even impossible things. In physics, for example, the term singularity is used to describe a point at which a function suddenly takes on an infinite value, especially in space-time. For example, the center of a black hole. In mathematics, the term singularity is often used to describe a point at which a particular object is not defined, for example, infinite again. All these different areas where singularity is used to describe unusual behavior can be summed up in something called singularity in system theory. That is, small changes to any system can have a large effect. Basically everything is a system, for example the power system of a mage in Black Clover, or the universe, the system of a body, the system with which you watch this video, literally everything. Every system has limits such as mana capacity or magic power. Sometimes an unusual change can affect the whole system and create a singularity, whereby then things like infinite values arise. Because something happened that should not happen, in many cases it is almost like an error, like getting a second grimoire and having a second magic ability that then interferes with the already established system. For example, it is simply unnatural to use star magic with a wind spirit, especially in the spirit dive. Such a thing should be impossible and never happen. If there is a god in Black Clover who created the elemental spirits, then that being created the sylph only for wind magic and nothing else. Sylph's existence was not taken into account for cases when a mage uses her with any other magic than wind magic, especially not with a fire attribute, which a star basically has. Thus, the result of such a combination is simply unpredictable. The wind spirit would never have chosen someone without wind magic. This is a very good example of a singularity in a system that could have an unpredictable consequence. Like for example an infinite value in an actual finite system. Such systems are called unstable. There are two important characteristics of such a system. Instability, because singularities tend to produce effects out of proportion to the magnitude of the original causes. So Yuno could literally be too powerful, maybe dangerous to himself or the environment. And second, interaction. This means that singularities often occur when unexpected interactions between two systems occur. For example, the interaction between wind magic and star magic. An example of a singularity is the Big Bang, which is one of the theories about the origin of the universe. So we are talking here about very extreme and dangerous phenomena. The singularity in the system theory is not dangerous on paper, but when it happens in real life, well, the Big Bang says it all. This will give us a good idea of why the term singularity might be a problem and why Lucius might be a little afraid of Yuno. And so the result of the singularity between star and wind magic could be SolarWind or Star+Wind. I actually already made the video on this subject when star magic was revealed, but with the new information this video makes much more sense. The SolarWind is a stream of charged particles released from the upper atmosphere of a star in the form of plasma. Plasma is one of the four basic states of matter: solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. This phenomenon can be observed during a total solar eclipse, where you can see the unique appearance of the spectral lines. It looks very similar to Yuno's magic, which he used against all the high-ranking devils while he had both grimoires open, indicating a spell where he used both wind and star magic, so it could either be a magic combination, magic fusion, dual magic, something like that. We don't see typical wind magic shapes or the typical star magic stars, so it could actually be something combined. Also, we haven't seen Sylph so far after the time skip, which could indicate that she might have merged with Yuno's arm, or maybe she's collecting wind again. The attributes of SolarWind are very destructive. It is full of kinetic energy. It is very fast. It has an extremely high temperature, similar to the sun, and even strong radiation. Plasma has no definite shape or volume, but unlike gases, plasmas are electrically conductive, which makes them much more destructive. The plasma state is not actually freely existent under normal conditions on Earth, which is why it falls under the term singularity in this case. Yuno could have created something that you really shouldn't be able to create with one of the four elements, because you need wind and fire. Gas is usually transformed into plasma by exposing it to extremely high temperatures, such as the temperature of a star, which would fit Yuno's magic. His star magic heated his wind magic, and SolarWind also generates magnetic fields and electric currents. Because of the extremely high energy, the SolarWind can leave the sun's gravity, which can be very useful against Lucius' gravity magic. And the high energy level would also explain how he could just blow away all high-ranking devils with a single spell. Not just blow them away, but literally tear them to pieces. It doesn't make sense that it's just normal wind. Wind is not destructive enough to cause this effect. This whole SolarWind topic is gigantic when it comes to all the phenomena related to it. I'm sure if this theory proves true, all these phenomena will each become different spells. For example, aurora, plasma or comet tails, geomagnetic storms, magnetic switchbacks, magnetospheres, and so on and so forth. So all things related to the solar wind. And that's it. The only mystery that remains is Yuno's right arm. Why is he hiding it with bandages? those bandages were clearly highlighted. It could be that he's manifesting something that needs to be hidden, maybe it even has something to do with SolarWind. Or as mentioned, Sylph has manifested in his arm. But it could also be something bad, like a side effect of the singularity. Maybe Yuno's body starts to dissolve or something like that. Let me know in the comments what you think of this theory. And if you want to see more Black Clover content, then subscribe to this channel with the notification bell activated for weekly Black Clover content, theories, and chapter reviews. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.